Welcome to I Am Emerging as a Profitable Leader-preneur Now Summit Preview, and this is facilitated by AliNICOLE WOW and Gina Gardiner. And we are excited to bring this experience to the marketplace as we start to create a new breed of leaders who will combine an entrepreneurial essence with their mission. And our goal is to consistently take these leaderpreneurs to new heights as they climb from one summit to another summit of their success. And as we know, summits represent the highest point on a hill or a mountain. And we leverage this, metaphorically. And what we're doing is creating a sacred space for emerging leaderpreneurs to continue evolving and being on the leading edge of their evolutionary journey and in this summit tier format. Because what we know to be true is that as they evolutionize, so will their works and their missions. And this experience is going to be facilitated in a private Facebook group, and it's going to be an ongoing forum. And within this forum, this is where others will have access to trainings, access to blog content, and also virtual summits and events and so much more that we'll be facilitating. One of the things I want to bring up, well, actually two of the best aspects, I believe, of this experience is that when others partake of this, they're in a community with other individuals who are also continuing to emerge and evolve. And the great thing is that you have the support that you need from Gina and myself and others that we raise up at every new phase. So I want to just share that we start this experience with sharing two core areas of focus for emergence. And that is the emerging, enlightened, profitable leader experience, and also the powerful and profitable Phoenix-Leader-preneur experience. And I'm going to bring Gina forward so that she can speak a little bit about the emerging, enlightened, profitable leader experience and why the journey to enlightenment is really important as it lays a new foundation for emerging leaderpreneurs. And then I will speak on the powerful and profitable leader Phoenix leaderpreneur experience, and actually why it's important and really time to rise in what I'm calling this expanded, evolved version of yourself as a leader and as an entrepreneur. So a lot of exciting things are going to be taking place, and then afterwards I'll be sharing about the requirements and the publications that are needed to be a part of this experience, and also how being a part of this preview allows you to have a membership-free experience. So Gina, I just want to bring you forward. I'm so grateful and excited that we are collaborating for this, and I would love for you to share about the emerging, enlightened, profitable leader experience, and also why it's important for our emerging leaderpreneurs.
Thanks very much, and I'm very excited about the whole process and what we have on offer for people. I think the starting point has to be that when we're talking about emerging, enlightened, profitable leaders, we're talking about those people who have been leading, that have been leading very much in the paradigm of the now. And what we're talking about is a qualitatively different type of leader who is going to be resourced, prepared, and ready to lead into the new era of consciousness, the new now.
Yes.
But also those people who are aspiring leaders who would like to learn from the outset how they can become enlightened and profitable leaders. And so there'll be many people who might listen to this and think, well, I'm not emerging, I'm already there. But I would ask you to question whether the thinking and the practice that got you to this place is going to be the practice and the thinking of the way of being that is going to help you as we move into a very, very different working environment and a world arena, if you like.
Absolutely.
And so And the reason it's so important to recognize that this is a journey is just like if you, for those of you that have been walking in the Malvern Hills, for example, in the UK, you climb up the first summit and you think, yeah, I'm going to get there in 5 minutes. And as you reach the summit, you realize that actually this is just the beginning, because beyond there is the next summit and the next and the next till you reach the top. And I think one of the principles for enlightened emerging leaders is to recognize that this is a process of evolution, transformation, but more than that. It's about expanding and deepening in a way that you didn't ever think possible. And in doing so, it requires you to do the deep inner work to become the leader of yourself, and then to lead others, to have a really strong sense of purpose and the capacity to see the potential in other people and nurture that. And that's an ongoing journey. And you talked about, a community, and there's no doubt that when you are working with other people who have similar values, who are experiencing similar things to you, that you can gain huge support, creativity, and opportunities to collaborate by working in such a group. But where you add those who can offer greater insights, experience, and expertise, what you do is you put the icing on the cake and the cherry and the nuts and the chocolate on top of the cake, and you make it a very different experience. So I'm looking forward to working with people who don't want to just be leaders, who want to be the leaders of leaders.
Yes.
And who see profitability in its broadest sense, not just about money. Because when you look at things holistically, then you are able to generate profits pretty much by default, rather than focusing on the financial targets and there being huge amounts of collateral damage in terms of health, well-being, happiness, the environment, and so on.
Oh, wow. Yes, absolutely. You've got me so fired up because I love everything that you shared. And it's just, this experience is about the continuation. And you spoke to, the emerging factor, and which is something that this experience encompasses, is that the emerging factor is a continuation, because we are always on the emerging edge of our compelling greatness. We are always at an emerging juncture, and emergence has these two different vibrations. Well, actually more than that, but the primary two that we will be focused on here is, as you mentioned, the ones who are aspiring for sure, but also the ones who are already leaders, but they are continuously emerging. And I'll speak a little bit more, to that, is that, we are always on the emerging evolutionary edge. And it's always best to allow ourselves to be in that place, because when we're in that place, it neutralizes us from having to get so confined with what has been and getting stuck into that. And actually, I'll share a little bit about that. But Gina, wow, that was wonderful. Like I said, that's so great. I'm so fired up now. I'm ready to share, and then we can have some more dialogue, for sure. So thank you so much for setting the preview stage with that excellent rendering. I appreciate that.
My pleasure.
So I want to talk about really why we must powerfully rise as profitable Phoenix-Leader-preneurs. And as Gina spoke to the holistic aspect of profitability, and I'll touch on that, as well, is it is important to evolve in this expanded version of who you are. And she mentioned that we're in a time of a new era of consciousness for sure, but we're also in a new era of great illumination, and a new breed of leadership is required like never before. I know Gina would agree for sure. Definitely a new leadership aspect needs to come forth. And the online marketplace will soon be saturated with more entrepreneurs. And the reason being is because of the demanding relevance of the digital space, because it has reshaped the norms to expand and evolve really humanity at large. And so there's no greater time to make an impact and be really influential, even as you're making an income. So we need leaders who are entrepreneurial to show up as demonstrations of this holistic profitability, so that others can know what's possible for new levels of success. I mean, someone has to be able to demonstrate that. And what this does is it really helps to, in the present, heal those who are broken in spirit, but also those in a state of brokenness, maybe from financial hardships. And but for some on this journey, it will be just it's time to level up in their profitability. And as I mentioned, they need an example to demonstrate how to take things to the next level. So what we're really looking for at this point and raising up is new courageous leaderpreneurs who are going to be willing to rise up in power and profit, so that we can start ushering in this new, what would be kind of a revolutionary type of experience. So this involves taking the limits off of yourself. And Gina and I do a lot of work within that context about really being a new definition experience of yourself, and not having limitations, being able to really go beyond the status quo and shift into continuations of new normals, just as she mentioned. And what's required, if this is you and it speaks to you, is that you're going to have to step into new levels of power and really continue to rise in new levels of power. And this is where the phoenix essence comes in, to ensure that there is always a new rising, just like there's always a new emergence. So we know that we learn that the mythical bird, the phoenix, it's most known for burning itself up and rising from its ashes to start anew. And metaphorically, we must be able to, or be willing, I should say, to surrender our current success or situations, if necessary, to rise to a new summit of success as we continue to evolve. Because as we rise anew, our profitable endeavors, if you will, rise anew as well. So our impact and income agenda will consistently catapult us into realms of infinite possibilities. And we really need that. And the holistic premise of the profitability is so important. And people are at different levels and different stages. But one of the things that's coming to mind right now is a quote, I paraphrase this, by Michael Bernard Beckwith. And he often says that, how can we be the light of the world if we can't even pay our light bills comfortably? So this is important, because the more you rise in impact, the more you're going to be required to rise in profitability. And why is this? Because the profitability will allow you to expand your assignment to serve at the highest level. And I'm just going to be honest, and I'm sure Gina would resonate with this, is that when people look out and they're looking for influential people to follow, people not only like to follow people who are influential, they also like to follow others who are demonstrating this holistic profitability and understanding how to be successful at being the best version of themselves. And when you are the best version of yourself, you are going to bring forth this holistic experience and demonstration, for those who are close to you, but also others, the ones that you're going to be impacting. So I can't stress this enough. It is really vital that you begin to rise in this powerful and profitable phoenix leader-preneurial energy and within this experience, because it's going to help you to discover your voice, the voice of your inner phoenix, because you'll find that you have this inner phoenix voice that really wants to be expressed, and that's going to help you to be able to ultimately convey the right message to your audience. Not only that, it's also going to help to connect you with your new rising capacity. And this is important because as you rise, you're going to discover new talents, new abilities, and how to best facilitate that, in the works that you do. But ultimately, this is also going to help you to unleash yourself as a profitable Phoenix leaderpreneur, and you'll do this by learning some new perspectives, frameworks, and so much more. So, super excited about this. But I just want to say this before I start sharing the requirements that, going back to the original premise is that you must become enlightened, as Gina mentioned, and you have to become enlightened in order to be a part of this new illumination. And the thing about it is that you're going to really have to take ownership of your emerging greatness. And when you're doing this, you're going to rise like never before with your unique abilities to be powerful and profitable in this leader-preneurial mission. So this is a very exciting venture. It is certainly time, for this, because there's so many who are ready to unleash themselves in a very profound way, but don't necessarily know how to do that, and are ready to not necessarily be challenged. I mean, you will be challenged in some regards for sure, but ready to go from summit to summit, in this higher way of beingness. So, Gina, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share the requirements and then the publications, and then we can have some conversation around this, because certainly always love to hear your commentary, and then I'll also have you to conclude. So requirements and publications. So in order to participate in this experience and um, attend rather our virtual trainings and summits, um, you must join our private membership group, but also you're going to have to start to self-educate yourself. And this is where our intentional journal style trainers and workbook publications come in. So for those who are listening to this preview, you actually have the privilege of gaining membership access, having your membership fee waived, and you only be required to purchase the publications. Now, there are several publications by Gina and I that are vital for you to have in order for this experience to be extremely powerful, and I would say powerful, and profitable as you progress, because those are the two higher level vibrations that we're going to be playing from, is this power and the profitability. And so what the publications will do is lay a foundation and help you really in the continuation of the higher level experience that Gina and I will be providing. It really is exciting. So to start your emerging, enlightened, profitable leader experience, here are 5 works from Gina. And the first one is Enlightened Emerging Leadership. It's an intentional journal and planner to support your development as an enlightened leader. So that's important because it's going to lay that foundation of your emergence. Another one is Journey into the New Era of Profitable Enlightened Leadership. It's a strategic planner to help you find, define, and align yourself as a profitable enlightened leader. And this is really important because that new level of consciousness that she was talking about, this will help to set that premise and alignment. Nothing trumps alignment. So finding that alignment on the onset in this profitability adventure is going to help you tremendously. And then another one is the Profitable Enlightened Leader's Journey. And this is a different vibration, of the journey experience. And it is a strategic workbook to support you in your journey to becoming a profitable, enlightened leader. And so you'll see some divine overlap within those two, but it's important because they are written at two different vibrational stances, and that's just going to help expand your evolution exponentially for sure. Um, the next one is creating profits from the inside out. And it's an intentional workbook to create new levels of comprehension to underpin profitable productivity and give you and your business the profitable advantage. Like, wow, everything is about the inside out job for sure. And these works will help to bring that out of you. And then the next one is enlightened profitable leadership, how to lead yourself and others more effectively. It is an intentional journal and action planner. So those are going to set you up for this higher illumination of expansion as you become enlightened in your profitable awareness of who you are, as a leader and an entrepreneur as well. And so I'm going to share the powerful and profitable Phoenix-Leader-preneurial experience through my publications. And the first one is Emerging Like a Phoenix. It's an inspirational journal guide for aligning with the voice of your inner phoenix. And I mentioned that earlier. That's important. You have an inner voice. Your phoenix has a voice that wants to be expressed. And the second one is The Power of Me, the rise of an empowered Phoenix-Leader-preneur, and it's a self-discovery journal and creation planner. And then we have the new high-end Profitable Leader-preneur Acceleration Factor. It is an introduction to discovering your higher call to service as a leading profitable influencer. And this particular one is a VIP day acceleration workspace planner. And the next one is harnessing your profitable Phoenix Leader-preneur power. It's rising in new levels of empowerment and profit potential for high-end success. It's a customized profits model creation planner. And for the ongoing continuation of being this leaderpreneur and in the business space, the power of the present moment is vital continuously. And as you see, we've been sharing intentional journals for specifics. And so this particular one is called Get Present to Profit with Business Journaling. How to use the power of the present moments to create profitable business breakthroughs. And it is a journal planner. So you're going to always need to be leveling up in that way and creating these consistent breakthroughs of profitability within your business. Now, these resources are available on Amazon, but also listed in the description below, along with additional information about Gina and I and how you can join us for this initiative. Something else I want to bring up is that if you aren't able to get all of the publications and you still want to be a part of this experience, we have additional information below for an alternative journey that will still help you to level up into the higher peaks of the summit experience. But we are looking forward to having you join us. So Gina would definitely love to have some conversation and your commentary before you conclude us.
I'd say to anyone that's listening to this, if you always do what you've always done, then things are going to remain the same. What we're offering you is a gateway, if you like, to a whole different way of leading in your business, in your life, because you take yourself wherever you go.
That's right.
The reason we are absolutely recommending that you start with the books is that they give you an understanding of principles and then a structure to help you start the work on you, because ultimately you're the one who needs to engage with this, to own it, to really make this live. And then there are other programs and things that can be used absolutely to accelerate your journey and to support you. But the books are a great starting point. And they're a starting point at a level that gives you an insight in terms of becoming an enlightened, profitable leader. But in the same way, it also gives you a model of how you can use your expertise by writing your own books.
Yes.
And recognizing that you can become a published author, share the experience and expertise, and at the same time develop yourself as you're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Every journey starts with the first step, and we've used the metaphor of a journey. You know, ultimately, it is you who's going to make the choice whether you get started or not. And the books are a very simple way of opening the door to possibility. Of course, it makes sense to buy them and use them, not just pop them on your shelf, although the covers are very pretty. But ultimately, you know, I would say to you, take control of your success and recognize that there's a short window of opportunity before the rest of the herd recognize that they need to do something differently. And if you're able to get ahead and be in the vanguard, you know, demonstrating to others, that gives you such credibility, such authority, and ultimately that will add to your capacity to be both profitable and successful, but in an enlightened way.
Oh, absolutely, Gina. Oh my goodness, yes. I just love that. And before you, wrap us up with some final words of empowerment, I wanted to just, have some conversation quickly because, just everything you said was just brilliant for sure. And I could feel the passion through you, and that's why I'm so excited and delighted that we are doing this because we do several things together, but this unique experience is really cultivating the higher awareness for those we know are ripe and ready for this experience, and no matter what levels that they're on, and starting with the enlightenment process that helps the awareness to become expanded, and then we keep building upon that because we teach on the premises of the expanded awareness and the new levels or next levels of comprehension. And you're right, the publications, as they laid foundations, new foundations, then they ultimately bring about a new formality in the structure, for others. And it does help them to do exactly what you said, is to take ownership and to do the inner work at these different phases. And it's very simplistic processes. So though it may seem like, whoa, that's several publications, but because of the format in them, um, you'll move through them fairly quickly and be able to get to these new levels of rising, because that's what it's about. You become enlightened for sure in these new ways of profitability, but then owning the new level of the power that are going to make you even more profitable, but leveraging that phoenix energy is what is going to help you to bring forth this greater illumination and demonstration. When a phoenix rises, you see it in all of its glory, and that's what we desire for these leader-preneurs, is to continue to be on the emerging evolutionary edge of who you are, continue to rise to new levels and new heights in this summiting process, is so that you can demonstrate that illumination, and you can who is it, Winston Churchill, I think it was, it said, set yourself on fire so people can come to watch you burn or something like that. But you want to be able to, yeah. Yeah, I can't remember off the top who that quote is, but I do use it in a few publications. But you want to be able to always be ablaze. And that's going to require newness in every different level. And that's what we're here to provide, is so you don't become stagnant. You don't rise to a peak and get comfortable and camp out there. Understanding, as Gina was saying, that the journey continues to progress. And so you want to keep going from summit to summit, and being able to find your edge and consistently go beyond the leading edge of yourself. And within that, the divine default, which is by divine design in a sense, because it's intentional, is that you are going to find yourself in these new levels of power, new levels of profitability. You can't really escape that as you continue to go from level to level. So just excited. We're so glad that you have been here, with us in this experience, and definitely looking forward to all that's going to emerge and unfold. So, Gina, I turn it over to you.
Every one of you has the opportunity to make a choice, and you have a choice to stay where you are, or to take the bull by the horns and to give yourself the greatest opportunity of success. And we are offering you a really straightforward and proven way of succeeding in a way that is both enlightened, full of integrity, compassion, and the courage to do what's right rather than following the crowd, to do it in a holistic way so that you help people, help the environment, make a positive difference, and create a living legacy, and also to engage with other people who are like-minded and want to do the same, but in a way that takes away the uncertainty and the effort of how do I find out more. And I would really urge you, what have you got to lose? Go and have a look, invest in the book, invest in yourself. It's the best investment that you'll ever make. And come and join us.